my boiling water, I have my linguine cooking away. And as I look at my timer, I have about, maybe 6 minutes until it's supposed to be ready. And I have it on a medium high. And here are my ingredients that you saw in the still shot. But I just wanted to show you a little bit about how to prepare some of it. So I've already pre-prepared here some of the garlic I'm going to need, and obviously the tomatoes, but I wanted to show you how I chop them to get them ready for the linguine with clam sauce. So here, these are very large cloves of garlic I've used. I've already prepared those. I've sliced it in half lengthwise, and then basically I am slicing it just in little small slices like so, very easily with my knife. It's about I don't know, I would say half an inch, cameraman Dave, would you say? No, maybe a little less.
No,
quarter of an inch.
Close.
Yeah, quarter of an inch. I have a perception problem, I think. So we'll just put those in with
I'm very thankful for that too.
Oh, I didn't know this was becoming an XXX blog. Now we move on to our ripe, juicy tomatoes. Do you want to make an issue out of that too?
I like the ripe and juicy.
Juicy, yes. So here I've cut off the end. And what I do is I just chop it in half. And then I take each of these halves and I chop that in half. And then
Oscar is bugging the neighbors.
Yes, Oscar's outside in the hall bugging the neighbors. We live in a condo, and so there are other cats on the floor, and he likes to go visit, especially his girlfriend Alien. He hasn't seen her in days, so he's being an annoying nudge out in the hall meowing. So as you see, I cut each of those quarters into other sections, and then I just kind of hold that tomato half together. And you see how easily I get a nice dice out of there? There we go. And do the other half. See, I kind of reassemble it, hold on to it. 1, 2, 3 cuts. And there you have it. Looks like a lot of tomatoes. I used the Roma tomato, which is quite a lovely tomato for the linguine and clam sauce. Now, cameraman Dave, if you can just come over here. If you saw the gadget episode, remember I was cutting lemon zest with my mezzaluna, but here's an example of how beautifully it does herbs. This is Italian parsley, and I'm getting this ready as a finishing. I would say there's probably around, half a cup here. It's more than enough. This will be enough for 2, 3, maybe even 4 people. Depends on how much parsley you like, but look how easily it chops it up. It's perfect so that I can do that nice finishing thing on my pasta dish. Now, we're going to move over to this pan right here, and I am going to start it off at fairly high because as I look, I have about 3 minutes apparently until my pasta's done. I have a half a cup of olive oil. You might think that's a lot, but listen, we have to flavor this pasta somehow. And we need to cook this, as I said, quite aggressively because of our time limit. So we've got the oil heating up, and one of the first things that we're going to do when we get the oil to temperature is we're going to put this terrific garlic in here. There's going to be no kissing tonight, cameraman Dave.
Okay.
Well, I don't think he seemed that particularly disturbed about it. But then again...
Well, both have had garlic. It's not so serious.
I see. Okay. So well, you've kind of saved the day in that regard, I guess. And I just wanted to talk about the clams here. I'm using 142 gram can. That means when it's drained. This is somebody else calling us, but we're not going to answer. It's probably a telemarketer. This is what happens when you have live video blogs. But just have a look in here because you can see that the clams are suspended in juice, and I like that, and I'm going to be using that.
Was it expensive?
What, the clams?
Yeah.
No, it's probably like a couple of dollars.
Only a couple of dollars. That's not a lot of clams.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm here all week.
Yeah, he's here all week. Have the veal.
Try the clams.
Try the clams. So I guess he's trying to say that he's funny because of his shortcomings. Is that what you're trying to say? Because of your comment that you made earlier? Now, I think this oil is probably warmed. Yes, it is. Hear that sizzle of the garlic. And just want you to spin that around a little bit or stir that around. You can spin it if you want. That means you would spin the pan, I assume. But just to get that garlic going, you don't want it to burn or brown. Have a look here. See, it's still not brown. But when you start smelling the garlic, do you smell the garlic?
Yes.
Okay. So when you smell the garlic, we're going to put in your chopped tomatoes. Perfect. And just going to let those cook down a bit. Keep stirring.
That might have been our neighbors calling about Oscar.
You think?
Yeah, I'm thinking, because I don't hear Oscar anymore.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, while I'm stirring this and draining the pasta, cameraman Dave is going to go check on Oscar, and we'll come right back. I promise, other than draining the pasta and keeping it warm, I'm not going to do anything else while we take this short break. So while we were gone, I drained my linguine and I put a little olive oil so it wouldn't dry out. And I'm going to put the lid on it just to keep it warm until we're ready to serve. Yeah. And here I've reduced the tomatoes down to about a medium level, and as you can see, they've broken down really nicely. I've been cooking them for about 2 to 3 minutes. You can see that we're getting a bit saucy with some nice chunks. Well, we're getting saucy, a little bit saucy.
I think that ship has sailed.
Exactly, I think, yes. We have been sauced already. Wow. Speaking of which, what's the deal with Oscar?
Well, he's with his little girlfriend down at the end of the hall.
Okay, so he's in good hands, or good paws.
Yeah.
Now I'm adding 3, 4, 5 grindings of salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Seems like a lot, but it's not. It's a really fine grind of pepper. And now I'm going to add about, let's see, how much wine should I add?
As much as you possibly can.
Okay. I'm going to say I'm going to add in here, this is about, okay, about 2/3 of a cup of white wine. And this is just a Sauvignon Blanc. You can use anything you want. This is from the Niagara region. We live in Ontario, Canada, so Niagara has fantastic wines. It's becoming quite the contender. And I am going to raise this now that I've added the wine. And the other thing I'm going to add in here is my 1½ tablespoons of dried oregano. And for a little bit of zing and sauciness, because tonight's theme seems to be, ooh, did you see that? Tonight's theme seems to be sauciness, and I'm adding in, well, I'm adding most of it in. About ½ a teaspoon of crushed chili peppers. What was that, cameraman Dave?
So it's only marginally saucy.
Yes, that's right.
We're not.
It's not that.
It's not X-rated.
It's not X-ray hot. It's just normal, regular people hot. If you could smell that. How does that smell?
Good.
Just good?
Yummy.
Okay, well that's a little better. So the sauce is still doing quite nicely. And I want to get a tablespoon just to see where we're at. Okay, it's going to be a teaspoon. Apparently all our tablespoons are in the dishwasher. See where we're at? I think it needs a little more salt, and I'm going to reduce this down to medium again, which is 6 on my scale. Okay, definitely needed a little more salt. But the fruity olive oil in here with the garlic and these fresh tomatoes, and now with the oregano and a little zip of that crushed chili pepper,
are olives a fruit?
Fantastic. What's that?
Olives are a fruit?
I think they would be a fruit.
Because they have a pit?
Well, and they also grow on a tree.
They grow on a tree.
Definitely getting there. Now, the last part of this is we add our clams. And the reason we're adding them at the end is because we don't want them to become really chewy by cooking them a long time. So I'm putting in my clam, water, juice, whatever you want to call it, all of it in one big
swell foop.
And just cooking it through until it gets heated. And incorporated. Doesn't that look good?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever had this.
No, I've never cooked it for you, actually. It's one of my favorite dishes, I gotta say. Now, why don't you take an angle from there so I can get something in here? That's right. Mm-hmm. Just for fun. Oh God, no, not in the drawer. Just for fun. I'm going to add a little bit of this Himalayan pink salt.
Why not?
Why not? I'm just going to add a little bit of it here.
Anybody should just run out and buy Himalayan pink salt.
Well, I did that whole thing on salts, right? Mm. So it just...
So people should have their Himalayan pink salt by now.
That's right. And don't forget your Himalayan blue salt.
Oh, how could I?
Well, I think girls should eat the Himalayan pink salt and boys should eat the Himalayan blue.
I think we're beyond those kinds of stereotypes.
You're so progressive, cameraman Dave. I'm like, moi. Okay, I'm going to just give this... I'm going to raise it up a few notches. Yeah, and the reason for all the olive oil, as I said, is it acts like a wonderful base, and it is fruity, which was the reason that cameraman Dave asked. He asked, is it a fruit? So I believe it is. And extra virgin olive oil, as you know, is the first pressing of the olive. And there are such high quality olive oils around. It's almost like selecting a wine. As I said, I really like the President's Choice.
It's nothing like a virgin olive oil.
Oh God, this is really decompensating badly, isn't it? Okay, so as that carries on, and I mean the sauce, not the cameraman, I'm going to grab a couple of bowls in here. My bowl's ready. I think it's been a long week. Is this why?
What's on there?
Oh, sorry, that's from my hand. It's some of the pepper.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab my pasta server, which is also a fantastic back scratcher, by the way. I've used it in a pinch.
I hope you haven't used it recently.
No, you've been my back scratcher. Okay. So get the linguine in here. How does that look for a serving size?
It looks like appropriate for us, but probably too much for most people.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm on the right and you're on the left, so is that sufficient for you?
It's more than sufficient.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to take a little more because this looks really good, and it is one of my favorite dishes to cook. Okay. There we go. Now, if you just... Let me get that. Here we have it. So this is more like a saucy, more soupy saucy than, you know, the kind that would cling to your pasta. It's the Italians would call this imbrodo, so like in a broth, and it's so fantastic. I can't even tell you how delicious it is. Here we go. This one. Clams, wine, garlic, tomatoes, olive oil, basil, hot peppers. Did I miss anything? What did I miss?
Love.
Love. That's right. The key ingredient in here, as always, is love. Okay, so here we go. Let me just wipe up the sides so that it looks a little more presentable. And now, remember with the mezzaluna?
What about the cheese?
Well, we're going to get to the cheese. So I'm putting some of the fresh chopped Italian parsley. It has to be Italian parsley. There's a very deep flavor that the Italian parsley gives that you don't get from the curly parsley, in my opinion. Do you think there's a difference there, Dave?
I have no idea.
I see. Okay, so that is cameraman Dave's official opinion, which is he has no idea.
No idea.
Here we have some nice Parmesan cheese, and traditionally a lot of people don't put Parmesan on a seafood pasta, but in our particular case we're going to do that.
Breaking with tradition.
Yes, we're going to do our own thing. I think cooking should be, you know, that most stuff is a guideline, right?
I think I would have put the cheese on first and then the green parsley.
Why?
I don't know.
Does it bother you that much?
It's okay. I'm just saying.
Is this going to stop you from eating it?
Not in the least.
Yeah. Okay, there. Makes you feel better?
Oh, yeah, now we're talking.
Okay, we have a little bit of
That's pretty.
some aesthetics. So it's really, it's like the colors of Italy, right? You've got
red,
your
green, and white.
red, green, and white. It's like the Italian flag. This would be great to eat like on a soccer night or something, right?
There you go.
So here it is. This is Brigitte's Kitchen and Home Blogspot linguine with clam sauce.
Yum.
Dig in.